This is Proverbs 29 and verse 3. It says, "The prudent man foreseeth the evil, and hideth himself. But the simple is passed on, and are punished." And I want to begin with all praises to the Heavenly Father. Abba now Yahweh Shem Shai. Say Barakateh Yahweh, Barakateh Yahweh Shai, Barakateh Yahweh, Barakateh Yahweh Shai, Barakateh Yahweh, Barakateh Yahweh Shai. Double honors to other apostles, elder bishops, great ministers, wanted the truth from. And peace and salutation, hopeful electoral may be in the forms of the earth. And our brother Kwam Gabar come back with another lesson to edify the body. Yahweh Shem Shai, the house of David. And the Lord's willing, edifying video through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shai, by Hashem, Hawakahakadash. Let me look up this word, approach. The word approach, Salakia. Let's look at this word approach. Because famine is fast approaching. It's because November 1st, they're saying, since the government shut down, we understand where it's all leading to. It's all leading to the MOTB, it's all leading to destruction of Babylon the Great. It's all leading to, these prophecies are popping off like popcorn. Every prophecy has a timeline, and all the prophecies are dropping like dominoes. There's a domino effect. So the word approach says come near or nearer to someone or something in distant or time. We know there's a time and season for everything. We know that Yahweh Shem Shai told us in Matthew, the book of Matthew, Mark, Luke, throughout the scriptures, 2nd Ezra 15:9, 2nd Ezra 15, 2nd Ezra 16, so forth and so on, right? So let's go to Matthew really quick. I brought this out in my lesson yesterday, so let's go to it again. This is Matthew 24 and verse 7. It says, "For nations are rising against nations, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines," right? The lack of resources, the lack of goods, because the November 1st, Donald Trump is the big beautiful bill is kicking in. So they're saying, a lot of people are saying on the internet, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, World Star, YouTube, that November 1st, a lot of people are not going to get their EBT, their SNAP benefits. And one Edomite said that it's going to hurt every single person in America. And it's true. Because hyperinflation is happening. The tariffs are kicking in. The tariffs are put on China, tariffs are put on Mexico, Canada. Like the president of Canada said, Trudeau said, it's not going to help. It's not hurting us. It's going to hurt you American people. And it's exactly what is happening, because every time you go to the store, every day you go to the store, wherever you go to Walmart, you go to Sam's Club, you go to Costco, you go to Trader Joe's, you go to Ralph's, you go to Kroger, you go to fucking wherever city you live in, and you go to the grocery store, your groceries are rising, right, as your dollar is diminishing, right? The dollar is backed by nothing. It's just printed on paper. Poof. It disintegrates right in your hand. Right? You just go to this grocery store, you go to Target, you go to Walmart, you go to any of these places. You go buy shoes, you go buy a TV, you go buy whatever the fuck you go buy. It costs more than it used to, because they're all going to a new system, a digital system, which the MOTB, the mark of the beast. In their right hand or their foreheads, right? It says, and there shall be famines, the lack of goods, the lack of resources, the lack of food, the lack of things, and pestilences, and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Let's go to 2nd Ezra 16 and verse 18. And it reads, verse 17, it says, woe is me, woe is me. Who will deliver me in those days? Because Ezra saw all the vision of the Lord, and he was frightened. He was fearful. So he was asking the angel, who's going to deliver me in those days? Yahweh Bashem Shai. Isaiah 65, 12 through 14, he says, my servant shall eat, but you shall be thirsty. You shall be hungry. My servant shall drink, but you shall be thirsty. That's the time we're living in. We have Psalms 37. Let's go to it really quick. Psalms 37 and verse 19. And I'm going to jump down to 25. And it says, and it reads, they shall not be ashamed, and they shall not be ashamed in the evil time. Who's the they? Is the elect. In the days of famine, thou shalt be satisfied. But the wicked shall perish, and the enemies of Yahweh Shemashah shall be as the fat of lamb. They shall consume into the smoke. Shall they consume away? What is the smoke? The missiles. There actually being missiles, the laser beams. You're gonna die in famine, right? Now let's go to real quick another precept, because the Lord told us in Job 24, Job 5, 22 through 24, and it reads, it says, at destruction and famine, thou shalt laugh, neither shalt thou be afraid of the beast of the earth, because they're going to know. Because they're all the beasts, they're moving in the spirit of it's all going to be, the spirit of the Lord is going to be in the earth once again. It's still in the earth. It's always been here. But then the scripture say, then shall you know who am I chosen. Then shall you know who am I chosen. So the beasts are not going to mess with us. They're going to mess with you. Ungodly, wicked people. It says, at the destruction and famine, thou shalt laugh. We're laughing. Because I'm going to go back to Psalms 37 and 25. It says, at destruction and famine, thou shalt laugh. We're meditating terror. We can't wait to be changed into hunters. We can't wait for Yahweh Shemashah to live up a standard. Because we've been faithful to the Lord. And it begins with the elder apostles on down. And their elders. It all begins with the men of the Lord. The ones that passed on. We're going to see them in the air. We're going to be together in the air. We're going to be with Yahweh Bashem Shai and the elect, the 1/3 in the air. You see? It says, neither shalt thou be afraid of the beast of the earth, for thou shalt be in league with the stones of the field. We're going to be in this, man, that means we're going to be in this, man, the Lord going to be with us, man. And the beast of the field shall be at peace with thee, and thou shalt know that thou tabernacle shall be in peace, and thou shalt visit thy habitation and shall not sin. We're not going to, man, the water. Yahweh Shem Shai, man. You know, that we have, we have, Lord, you know, the Lord has put his spirit on us to be called, to be chosen, Lord willing, to walk in the ways of the Lord, to be fearful, to know the secrets and mysteries, the prophecies, to know that this is the end of this foundation, this rulership, this kingdom, this queendom, this wickedness, debauchery. Everything's about to be wasted. And it's going to turn into what? Righteousness for ever's sake. You see? How beautiful is the Lord? The Lord is, he's the perfect balance. He's the only balance. That's why we have this wisdom and knowledge and understanding. That's why, I brought up a prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself. How we hiding ourselves in Yahweh B'Shem Shai. See? So let's go back to Psalms 30. Psalms 37 and verse 19 again. Thou shalt not be ashamed in the evil time, and in the days of famine thou shalt be satisfied. Thou shalt laugh. Because when something just came to mind, that word laugh. Let's go to Proverbs 1 and verse 26. It says, I will laugh at that calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. We're mocking. The Lord Yahweh Shem Shai is mocking through the prophets. Because we know what season we're in. We know what time we're living in. And at that time, our salvation nearer than we believe. It's time to wake out of a sleep. It's time to come out of Babylon the Great, aka America. Or you will be destroyed with this bitch. Excuse my French. You see? So let's go down to verse 20. It says, but the wicked shall perish, and the enemies of Yahweh B'Shem shall be as the fat of lambs, the sacrifice of the Lord. The ungodly, the wicked, the enemies of the Lord. They shall consume into the smoke. Shall they consume away? Let's go down to 25. It says this is a song, a verse, a lyric, a bar of King David and his mighty men. There's all of us. But this is him first. He says, I have been young, now I'm old, yet have I not seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging bread. You see, nor his seed begging bread. Let's go to Ecclesiastes 2 and verse 10. And it reads, it says, look at the generations of old and see, and did ever trust in Yahweh Shem Shai and was confounded? Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him? For Yahweh B'Shem Shai is full of compassion and mercy, long-suffering, and very pitiful, and forgiveth of sins, and saveth in the time of affliction. Woe be to the fury hearted, the fearful hearted, and the faint hands, and the sinners that go away two sides. Woe unto him that is faint hearted, for he believeth not. Therefore he shall not be defended. So we gotta look to Yahweh Shem Shai, because we are those men of old. Look at man, bro. The Lord said we're gonna eat. He said we're gonna eat, man. Let's go to it. Let's go to Isaiah 65 and verse 12 through 14. It says, therefore I will number you to the sword, and ye shall all bow down to the slaughter. Because when I have called, ye did not answer. When I spake, you did not hear, but did evil before my eyes, and did choose that wherein I delight not. Therefore, thus said Yahweh Shem Shai power, behold, my servants shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servants shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servants shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. You are ashamed. You're not going to be defended. You know, on November 1st, you may be, the Lord may, but you're not gonna return. You're not gonna return from your scourges, your amendments, pursuant to 2nd Ezra 16. You're not gonna. I'm gonna grab it though. It says, "My servant shall sing for joy of heart, but ye shall cry for vexation of heart, and shall howl for vexation of the spirit." Salakia, forgive me. Let me read it again. Salakia. I got ahead of myself. It says, behold, my servant shall sing for joy of heart, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart, and howl for vexation of spirit. You go, like howl, like a goddamn dog, like a wolf, like an animal. Because you guys are animals, man. You see? So let's go to 2nd Ezra really quick. 2nd Ezra 16 and 18. It says, let me go back to it. This is it. It says, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars and powers, and the powers shall stand in fear. Because you people believe that there is no power. You believe that. But the elites know that there is a God. But they're sent to be the deceiver on the earth, and to deceive you ungodly, wicked people, mainly our people. I'm talking to my people, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. And guess what? The Yahweh Shem Shai don't give a shit about the heathen, but we got to tell them their destruction. You see? For what they did to us, the Lord's people. It says, the beginning of evils, what shall I do when these evils shall come? Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent for scourges, for amendment, for correction. And you people that You know, I read it back in, you're going to cry because November 1st, a lot of you are not going to get no SNAP benefits. But some of you will. Because that's the mercy of the Lord. Right? Hey, man. We going to eat, man. We ain't got nothing to worry about, man. We have nothing to worry about. But you ungodly, wicked, evil people have a lot to worry. Because you thought this was never going to come to pass. Amos 5:17. Right? Let's go to it really quick. Amos 5:17. And it reads, it says, verse 18. It says, woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. What end is it for you? The day of the Lord Yahweh Shai is darkness and not light. Because the light was not given to you. You're still staying in darkness, which means you're gonna stay in the congregation of the dead until the Lord takes your spirit from your body. You see? It says, woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. To what end is it for you? The day of the Yahweh Shai is darkness and not light. The light was only given to the elect. And Lord willing, we're of the elect. You see? All praises, man, that we getting ready to eat, man. These people have stored up all their goods in underground bunkers. You stacked it up for the men of the Lord. You stacked it up for us. Because in that time, the Lord gonna put the spiritual powers on us to move. We're gonna be moving in the spirit. We're gonna be able to do a lot of great, beautiful things in the name of the Lord. Fly, be invisible, all these beautiful things, man. So let's go back to 2nd Ezra 16. And verse 19 again. It says, behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent for scourges for amendment, sent for correction for the nation of Israel. But for all these things they shall not turn away from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of their scourges. Behold, victuals shall be so cheap upon earth. The victuals is the teats, which you have been getting from the government. Your teats are gone. That's why you're hearing a lot of Eves crying out. So if you ain't got like these niggas in Memphis saying, or Chicago, they're in Chicago. They're in Memphis. Where the fuck you niggas at? Talking about you come to my city, you come to my state, we gonna get it in. They there. Martial law is there. Where you at? Just the same sentiment as you bitches. You two-legged dogs. Talking about you take away my SNAP benefits. You got a lot. My cousin, my cousin Pookie. You gonna, one two-legged dog said she said if my SNAP benefits are not gonna be or declined, I'm still gonna take my food. I'm gonna still take my food to my car, and then she said my cousin gonna knock you out. Come on, bro, are you stupid? You don't think Esau's already set up his garrisons to where niggas are at? You ain't gonna beat Esau at his game. He's here to beat your ass. And we love it. And we fucking love it, man. It's time. It says, behold, victuals shall be so cheap upon earth, they shall think themselves to be in a good case. Peace and safety and sudden destruction will come upon them. And even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great tribulation. Great confusion. Salakia. For many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and the others shall escape the hunger, and the sword shall destroy. So let's close out, man, because this is happening. This is mainly for the daughters of Judah, the daughters of Israel, but it's talking about the whole. It's talking about the whole world now. This is twofold. This is Isaiah 32. Isaiah 32. And verse 9 through 11. It says, rise ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. Many days and years shall ye be troubled. Ye careless women. For the vintage shall fail. You're not meant to get your goodies. You're not supposed to. You weren't meant to pass on your goodies to your raggedy ass children. It was only meant for a time, a moment. It was prophecy, right? You careless daughters. Right? The Lord has created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man. That's why these two-legged dogs talking about, I don't need a man. Okay. Esau he drained you to death. He don't need you no more. That's why he's trying to send you niggas back to us. You dried up, dead, two-legged dogs. We don't want you. Stay with that nigga and die with that nigga. Straight up. It says, you rise, ye women, rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice. Who's the voice of the Lord? The prophets. You careless daughters, give ear to my speech. It's talking about the nation, the women of nation of our nation of Israel, but it's talking to the whole nation. You men. You simps. You know, you women lovers. Talking about I'm working for mama, nigga. Shit, man. Now, man, you just killed you and your whole family because of you. That's why, the men of the Lord, even though we have seeds, some of us have seeds. Like Paul said, those that have wives act like you don't have one because they might not be with you. They may not be with you in the end times. You got to take in consideration all things. I'm speaking to myself first and foremost because I got one and seeds in the truth. I'm working on my own salvation. If I don't do this, my children are going to die. My whole house is going to be burnt up. My whole line is going to be lost. Because I made an oath to the Lord. I did that. We all did that. So we got to, look to ourselves. We got to work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. You got to work out look at that man in the inner man. Because, hey, man, your journey is your journey. And we all made an oath to the Lord. We all gonna get the same penny. Lord willing, to the end. It says, many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women, ye careless jakes. Isaiah 30, go and read that. Go and read Isaiah 30. Start at the top. It says, many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women. For the vintage shall fail, the gatherings shall not come. November 1st, a lot of you people are not going to get your SNAP benefits. Whatever you got from the government that you dried it up. The government shutdown is sucking everybody dry. Yesterday was October 20th, and the Supreme Court saying they ain't got no money. So everyone's trial date is on hold. But they still got to go to work. They ain't going to get paid. Even they're going to go up against their own self. Because, they got to look after their own fucking family. Everyone's about to look after their own self. There's going to be a dog-eat-dog world out here. Very fucking in the coming days, in the coming weeks, in the coming months. Many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women. For the vintage shall fail. The gathering shall not come. You're not going to receive nothing. So don't come looking to us. Some of it, there's going to be discerner of spirits. That Isaiah 4:1 is right at the door, is at the doorstep. Is at the bottom of the steps. That's why we don't even worry about you women. The Lord already got the women allotted for the men of the Lord. So we ain't got nothing to worry about. Lord willing to the end. It says, tremble ye women tremble ye women that are at ease. Be troubled, ye careless ones. Strip ye, make ye bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins. That's Isaiah 4:1. Let's get it. No. Salakia. Isaiah 4:1. Because I'm gonna go back to Isaiah 32 and read at the bottom, and it's gonna connect to this one right here. Isaiah 4:1. And at that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man. It's talking about the Israel, the elect, the Israel, the man of the Lord, saying, we will eat our own bread, and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name, to take away our reproach. Let me read it again. This is Isaiah 4:1. And in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name, to take away our reproach. So, it's a beautiful thing that the Lord's they got everything set up for us to keep only looking forward, doing the working out our own salvation with fear and trembling. Not looking to the left, not looking to the right. We're already in the straight gate. Right? Straight means what? STRAIT. It means terms of difficulty. Right? Your difficulty your path has already been laid out. All you got to do is walk through it. That's all we got to do is walk through it. And I'm speaking foremost to myself. You see? So let's close out. Let's go back to Isaiah 32. And then you guys can go and read 2 Ezra 6 and 22. Because this famine, the lack of resources is going to go what? You're not going to have no food in your storehouses. And I work at the store. Everything is spread out. A lot of product is gone. That's why it looks full, but there's one product on every shelf. Not every shelf, but 1 or 2. But, I want to say 30%, 20%, 25 to 30% of our product is one product per shelf to make it look full. You know, it says, so let's go back to Isaiah 32 and 11. It says, tremble, ye women that are at ease. Be troubled, ye careless ones. Strip ye, make you bare. Right? Come, hey, you better get out of, you better be a prudent, have prudency about yourself. You better have some vision about yourself, some ears about yourself. Because if you don't hear, if you don't see, hey, you're gonna be taken. But the ones that are meant to make it are the ones that are meant to make it. Everyone's already meant to be saved, and one is already meant to be destroyed. We just got to tell you whether you hear, whether you for, whether you hear, whether you're for. But hey, the blood is off our hands, man. It says, tremble, you women that are at ease. Be troubled, ye careless ones. Strip ye, make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins. Get over yourself. You ain't shit. You're just a second-class citizen of a third-class citizen. A third-class citizen, because it begins with Yahweh. Yahweh Shai, the man and the woman. Right? You know, you're a fourth-class citizen. Right? If you have children, you're a fifth-class citizen, because your children, you're supposed to you're supposed to protect your children. But some of you, a lot of you Israelite women don't protect your children. That's why they're going to be swallowed up. That's going to be taken out of your hands. Because you're not fit to be a mother or a guardian. You know, that's why a lot of you women, you took, the water, Yahabashim El-Shai, Bahashim, Hawakakadash, that, you pulled us out of darkness, that, you are rewiring our minds to see how you want, how things are supposed, how you see things to be, how you created things to be. So a lot of you, that, it's a beautiful thing, man. So, hey, with that, Lord's willing, it's been edifying video through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shai Bahashim. Hawakahakadash, before I end, I'm saying Brakataya Hawa, Brakataya Shai, Brakataya Hawa, Brakataya Shai, Brakataya Hawa, Brakataya Shai, Brakataya Hawa, Brakataya Shai. All blessings, glory to Heavenly Father, Abba Now, Yahweh Bahashim Shai Bahashim. Hawakahakadash, and once again, double honors to elder apostles, elder bishops, okay, millstone. Peace and mercy, Lord. Shalom, shalom, shalom.